Have y'all seen this? Hold on. Again, from Zahad right here. Destiny 2 is getting 12 player activities, it's claimed. Bungie is working on adding 12 player activities in Destiny 2. It has been claimed. That's according to the Discord user Liz, who has a history of sharing credible inside information on Destiny 2 and Bungie. According to Liz, Destiny 2 will finally introduce 12 player activities. 12 player activities coming in the future, they said in the D2 Leaks Discord server. While it was claimed that the Destiny developer is working on 12 player activities for the game, no concrete timeline has been given for when players can expect these activities to be available in the game or what the activities might be. It's worth noting that this is not the first time 12 player activities have been discussed in Destiny 2. As a matter of fact, a bug surfaced in 2021 that permitted players to create 12 player fire teams and activities such as raids, dungeons, and nightfalls. Yes, that was actually a feature or a bug that we took advantage of. And it was fun, man. It was chaotic. I mean, imagine like running through your favorite raids with double the squad power, right? You can imagine how quickly you can melt bosses. And then, of course, delegating tasks. There would be like 3 people that knew what the hell the raid was or the encounters actually were. And the rest of the crew could just run around and kill things. And to be perfectly honest, I think our raid structure currently could not support 12 players. I just don't think, I mean, yes, you can run in there with 12 players, but I just don't think it's going to work well. We would need something that's purely designed for 12 players. Now, Bungie, being considerate, did not rush to fix a bug and allow players to enjoy it, and players have since been requesting the developer to add 12 player activities in the game. That's bold, man. It's one of those things that I'm kind of with you right there, Miss Gassi. I'll believe it when I see it. Dude, it's hard enough finding just 5 other people to do one raid. And I feel like 12, that's a lot. Granted, we do have Fireteam Finder. I don't necessarily know if the 12 player activity itself would be something, would it be a Pinnacle activity? Would it be the equivalent of Grandmasters or even raids? Or would it just be like, hey, here's Sundial, you can do it with 12 players. Here's Blind Well, go play it with 12 players now. You see what I mean? I don't know if we're gonna get that peak Pinnacle activity that's gonna be difficult and really be pushing 12 player activities outside of it just being a fun activity. But PvP is technically 12 players. Yes. I'm not saying that the engine can't handle 12 players. Obviously when the bug occurred, we were able to utilize 12 players in those activities. So obviously the capabilities are there. All I'm saying is I don't necessarily believe that whatever that activity may be, it won't be super difficult to begin with. And keep in mind, this is the pros and cons to this. The more players you have, the less ad dense, or at least previously, the less ad density there is. So that's why you have like things like, Battlegrounds with 3 players. The ad density is insane. Whereas ad density and like raids and stuff, it kind of dials back a bit more. But there are some technical limitations there. I don't know how you could do a 12 player activity and have a high level of ad density and still maintain Destiny on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I can't even believe you're able to still even play Destiny 2 on those consoles. What if they just make everything a yellow bar or a mini boss? So like have a 12-man activity, but everything that comes out is just super beefy. Like just a whole field of tormentors. I tell you what would be fun for a 12-player activity is if we had a 12-player activity that included a horde mode, and it doesn't have to be canon. It doesn't have to make sense with the lore. It just be something stupid, Imagine if we didn't have the technical limitations and one wave is just like, here's 2,000 thrall. Good luck. Oh, you made it to wave 11? Okay, here's 100 tormentors. Have fun. Oh, you think you're bad now? Making it to wave 18? All right. Here is 50 rocks. And then take it a step further. You made it to wave 25? Oh, okay, all right. How about a bunch of Cabal drop pods? We're just gonna rain Cabal drop pods with a timer that counts down from 60 seconds. Good luck. Oh yeah, you can't res anybody. This is the kind of horde mode we want. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff. You could do a wave of screebs and mini screebs, just fucking jumping out everywhere. I don't know what you would give the player to whoever it is that made it to the end of these waves. And obviously there would be people that get frustrated. But you gave me like, okay, the dream here to carry. This would be my dream. That's what I would dream of, a horde mode inside of Destiny. And yes, it would involve 12 players. That would be amazing. If you make it to wave 100, Glorbo. We'll see. I honestly don't. I mean, I don't know who Liz is, and nothing against you, Liz. We've been asking for 12-player activities for a very, very long time, and I would be very, very surprised if that actually gets thrown in here for the final shape. But hey, man, Bungie's trying to make a splash, and you know, they brought up the fact that this expansion has to be in the same level as like Forsaken. And if you do want it to be on that same level, well, you're gonna have to bring some new like Pinnacle activity. And even though everybody talks a lot of crap about Gambit, and we're actually making an entire video about the rise and fall of Gambit. At one time, Gambit was like the most hyped thing in Destiny. Everybody was talking about Gambit. I had friends downloading Destiny for the first time ever to play Gambit. It was a hit, at least originally. So a new activity, a new Pinnacle level activity, it spices things up. I would say that a 12-player activity, that would do it. That would intrigue a lot of people to come back and give it a go. I loved Gambit Prime. I hate they changed it. It's going to be quite a girthy script, but it's about everything about Gambit. Everything you want to know about Gambit. The rise, the fall, Gambit Prime, the good, the bad, all that stuff. You know, what I don't want to see, though, let me bring the question back to you guys. Would you rather a single activity designed for 12 whole players? Or would you prefer what Bungie could be doing, which is just having a feature that comes every, you know, maybe once a month, where all raids are 12-player accessible? What are y'all's thoughts? I would prefer a dedicated 12-player. I mean, in an ideal world, guys, I would love both. In an ideal world, if we can get both, where you had a dedicated 12-man activity, like it was completely designed around 12 players playing together in unison and learning mechanics and stuff, that would be amazing. Difficult, but amazing. But in an ideal world, I would love to have both. I would love, like, hey guys, we've got double loot this week, and next week we've got 12-player accessible raids. I mean, dude, that would be fun. You know, everybody just go jump in and go ham and be crazy. I think it would be a huge win for Bungie. And look, it doesn't have to be something that launches. You know, there are people that feel like, oh, you've got to earn this gear. But come on, man. You know, I especially when you get like a month into a new season or something, you know, it's like, you just let them have it, you know. Don't just hand out loot. They still got to jump in there and actually know some of the mechanics, and at least have a decent loadout. But they jump in with 12 players and have a good time. I'd be down with that. Raid, hard mode, no reses like D1. Light level matters. Can't get best light unless you do HD raid armor from raid. That helps raid. The grind is watered down. Okay, I'm having a hard time reading all that. Touch my blades. But I'm assuming what you're saying from this is that this would water down the raid experience, or this would water down the loot from the raids. Yeah, I just, you know, I don't really get that bent out of shape about it. You know, there's so much different loot in the game. You getting Apex Predator in your arsenal is not going to suddenly diminish me. I'm not going to suddenly be like, oh my God, how'd you get that Apex Predator? Oh, you did it with a 12-man raid? Well, fuck you. It doesn't bother me. The reality is this, you know, this is where also the PvP side of things too. Because like for PvP, you can go in there, you can grind out everything in the world. You can get that best weapon or whatever you think that most meta weapon is. But then on the other side of that, you know, you've got assholes like Frostbolts or ZK, right? Who will go in there with the most piece of shit weapon and just beat the piss out of you, you know? And so there's only so much that can occur there, or so much that you could equalize things. So from a PvP's player's perspective, it doesn't bother me, you know? So we'll see, guys. We'll see if Bungie actually does add a 12-player activity. Can I get a poll real quick? I just want a poll on this. Would a 12-player activity being added to Final Shape hype you up? Yes or no? If it was match made, then yes. Yeah, match made maybe, but we also have Fireteam Finder, guys. Y'all think it would just be too hectic to have 12-player Fireteam Finder? 78% of you right now are saying yes, you would in fact be hyped. Let me give y'all a little rundown of how Bungie does a lot of summits. They literally will walk in and they'll go, hey, what's some shit y'all want to see? And everybody just starts rattling stuff off. 12-player activities is one of those that has been rattled off before, is what I'm saying. Darkness subclasses at one time, before we even had Darkness subclasses, was rattled off. Customizable subclasses, before we even knew that we would ever get Stasis, was rattled off. So literally the feedback is that frank with each other. It's just, what do y'all want to see? Boom. But 12-player activities is one of those things that have been suggested for a long time, not just the community as a whole, but and direct conversations with Bungie on this. So even though I do doubt, dude, I'm already getting like excited about the possibility of a 12-player activity. It is what I do know is it is something that has been on Bungie's radar for a while. Will it happen? I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. I don't know. We'll see. Right now, though, the poll says 77% of you would, in fact, be very excited to see a 12-player activity in Destiny. And Bungie is looking for some excitement. They're looking for some hype, dude. You know, man, that would be a great way to generate that in final shape. I do also want to preface this. This is a great way to set ourselves up for disappointment. Because if we leave this video thinking, hey, we're getting a 12-player activity come final shape, hell yeah. And then it rolls around and we have no 12-player activity, you see what I mean? I just want us to pull it back a little bit. I don't put the probabilities high here that we're going to get this. Liz's original link for this was that the 12-player activity was for after the raid happens. Okay, all right, we'll see. So what you're saying is post-raid, Liz is saying post-raid, a 12-player activity will be unlocked. I can actually see that working from a narrative standpoint, actually. Maybe the Traveler opens up in some way where you have some major 12-player activity there. Again, I don't want to get too carried away with this. I don't know Liz. What's her batting average with this kind of stuff? Liz has a good record. She's the most reliable leaker. Liz leaked conditional finality gameplay footage before Lightfall drops. You know who Liz is? I guarantee it's Luke Smith. Liz is Luke Smith. Nobody's ever gonna guess who the fuck I am. I'm Liz. All I'm saying, it's always so convenient that there's like, you know how Bungie is about leakers. Yet some leakers never get in trouble. And it's always curious. It's like, why are they not getting in trouble? It's because, again, this is purely speculation on my part. It's probably somebody high up at Bungie right now. You know, they're trying to fan the flames. Well, I guess, yes, give them a little something to chew on.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.